I think I was feeling a lot of shame about feeling lonely. I want to be this like strong, independent person who like can do hard things. And so I think like, yeah, it was just a lot of like hiding from myself and not actually accepting my own feelings that was making it much harder. But it shouldn't be that, because you know what I'm realizing? Feeling lonely is just a feeling. And like all feelings, it passes. Brand, and I had to get chunky kimbap again because I dropped half of it last week. Hey Gogis, we are back for another episode of BULGOGI Pod, and it's getting a little chilly here. And honestly, I'm pumped. I'm like so excited. I bought a long sleeve top from In Silence. It's like kind of like funky, you know? It's a elevated basic, as you might call it. But yeah, I am feeling much better. Being in Korea, I think that obviously the loneliness is still there, but having so much support from all of you guys has honestly made a huge difference, right? And like, I haven't met a lot of the Kogis like in real life. Like honestly, like the community is small, so I've met a good chunk of you, but to hear so much support and encouragement and just like helpful comments has been making me feel hopeful, because I'm realizing that like everything is like within my power and my control to like take into my hands, because at the end of the day, like we have authority over our own lives. And I think that when you're in a foreign country and like overstimulated and confused by everything, like of course the small things are gonna get to you, but yeah, I think like it served as a good reminder that like maybe this is a good thing, right? Like I have texted my friends at home, I've called my parents, I told my dad, I was literally like, I feel lonely. And me and my dad are like very similar, and he was like, oh my god, that's so crazy, I feel like we're living parallel lives, because when he was around my age, he actually moved to Korea alone and was out here like doing school and whatnot, and he wanted to come home early, and the program was like, no, you can't leave. And so he ended up having to stay out here for like 2 years, and that's much longer than I'm gonna be here. But he said like it's so weird because that's the first time that I felt like deep loneliness. Like it's really not just the physical being alone, it's the deep realization that like it's only us at the end of the day. We only have us at the end of the day. Like yeah, we have our partners, our loved ones, our families, and like our community, but at the end of the day, you gotta live with yourself. And so I started to ask this question to myself: if loneliness can be a good thing sometimes. And this is going to be an ongoing question, such as like all of these like life questions. But yeah, I think it just got me thinking like maybe this is a good thing, because I think one thing that I struggle with is like maybe I'm easily swayed. I am somebody who, actually, would I say that? I don't know if I'm easily swayed, because I have my opinions, but like I very much take into consideration everyone's opinions around me. Like I am an open listener. I go in with an open heart, open mind. And I know that a lot of people say that, but truly I will hear you out. A lot of times if I hear out two different stances, I'm like, oh, I see where you're coming from. Oh, I see where you're coming from. Like literally when my friends will like get into, you know, like discussions with their partners, I'll be like, oh, I see where you're coming from. Like I would totally be pissed, but then I really think about it, and then I'm like, but I can also see like why your partner thought that. And I think it's funny because like I really don't try to play both sides, but I kind of just end up doing so, because I think like I just want to listen to everything with an open heart, open mind. But being here and having to be decisive and not having input from my friends, has made me feel a little bit more confident in my independence. Like, yeah, I make my own decisions at this point, right? Like, that is something I had to work on post-college. Up until college, through college, my parents would, like, highly suggest things, but you know that's the decision they want you to make, you know? And I'm not dumb. So I know that my parents are smart people. They have done very well for themselves. And so I'm like, I should probably take their suggestion. There have been times where I haven't, and like my dad has been like, you were right. You made a good decision for yourself. And so yeah, like I think post college it was a lot of only I know myself and I have to live with the consequences of my decisions. And so being so isolated from everyone around me has made it so that like I just have to be kind of like sure of myself, and then also like take responsibility, because I think when there are so many people around you telling you, oh, you shouldn't date this guy, oh, we should eat this, oh, you should say something to your boss, and like just everyone inserting their opinions, of course we're gonna get confused, right? Like, we're all human. We're not like so resilient to our loved ones saying things to us all the time. And so the isolation has really made it so that I have like time to like think. Also, like sometimes I can't think because it's such a big and busy city. But the solitude, I think, is starting to be less and less uncomfortable. And I'm wondering if it's just like the pure acceptance and like me admitting that I'm lonely. Like, I think so the week before I recorded last week's episode, right? So like the week that I was here and I was like starting to feel lonely, there was like, it was literally probably a full 7-8 days where I was trying to go out, trying to have fun, and try to like be this like big, strong, independent girl who moved to Korea on her own, who moved to Asia on her own, and like I don't really have any family or friends here, but I can do this because I set my mind to it. And I also told everyone that I'm gonna be here, and so there's no backing out, right? And so I was trying to be this strong person, but one thing that I actually always lead with has been vulnerability. And I think like me trying to like uphold this image of myself made me kind of let go of like one of my core values, which is vulnerability. Like, they say that when you like hold on to things and you kind of let it fester and you like just hold everything in, like it can turn into shame, right? Like I think I was feeling a lot of shame about feeling lonely. Like, I want to be this like, right, we all have like an image of ourselves that like we want to be. And so I think how I view myself is to be this like strong, independent person who like can do hard things and can challenge myself, and then people look back and they're like, how did she do that? Like, that's always been who I've like wanted to be. And so I think like, yeah, it was just a lot of like hiding from myself and not actually accepting my own feelings that was making it much harder. And so once I accepted those feelings, and not only accepted but honestly vocalized to my loved ones, I think that's when when it flipped. When I admitted to you guys last week that I was feeling lonely, I felt very embarrassed afterwards. Like, right, I had like some of my church friends reach out and they're like, Hannah, don't feel lonely, just eat your kimbap and be happy. And literally I was like, I can't believe I admitted to the entire internet that I feel lonely. Like, right, because I think that there is so much like shame that can be built around feeling alone, but it shouldn't be that, because you know what I'm realizing? Feeling lonely is just a feeling, and like all feelings, it passes, because for me it's past. And I'm so thankful that I have loved ones and I have you guys to be able to like get so vulnerable with, because it feels like I have like a community of people to rely on. And I understand that some people don't even have that. And so, right, like according to some of your guys' suggestions, how to build a community literally starts with a smile, just like talking to random people, right? I think about how I made some of my good friends. Like literally, Dustin and Mitchell, perfect example. I was at an event, super duper duper overwhelming. I felt very intimidated because everyone was dressed so cool, and it felt like everyone knew each other except for me. And then I saw these two guys. I thought I recognized one, didn't actually know him. I knew his twin brother, but like I think it was just like, oh, had I like not decided to even say hi, wouldn't have made those new friends. And so I've started to try to like smile and like be a little bit less shy. But I also think it's like a little hard because like I don't really know the language, and so yeah, girl, learn the days of the week in Korean. My grandma would be so proud of me. I need to tell her that I learned it's 월요일. Oh shoot, am I forgetting? 화요일, 수요일, 목요일, 금요일, 토요일, 일요일. And that is Sunday. Shout out. I think I learned from Talk to Me in Korean on all the platforms. But, dude, I was like really struggling because I think I'm just realizing it's just pure memorization at this point. It's not like I can like come up with like something cool and fun. It's just like pure memorization. So we're working on that. And then, yeah, I'm just trying to study some grammar. So hopefully it'll make it so that I can converse a little bit easier. And also, like, I have a lot of, like, friends visiting in the time that I am here. So I think that that will help. But I guess, like, that kind of feels like a cheat to me for combating the loneliness. Because I kind of, like, I think a sick part of me wants to, like, revel in this. You know? Where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to feel these feelings as hard as I can. And guys, I was going through it last week. Like, I was like legitimately going through it, and now that it's like sort of past and might come back, like I'm just kind of like riding the wave. Like I feel like I have a lot more energy these days, and I guess like I kind of want to soak in the fact that like there's inspiration everywhere, and like I've been so sick of LA. Like I love LA. LA will always be home, and like I'll probably live there for the rest of my life. But like I'm just like so sick of it. So I'm like, you know what? I got away for a reason. Let's like take in all the inspiration. Let's like do all the shopping and the fashion and the food and the people, right? Because like even like signing up for my gym, right, was so random, and like I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And like I guess it's just like kind of fun to me to like realize that there's like different gym culture everywhere. Like it's not a have to, but they highly encourage you and highly look down on you if you don't have separate shoes for the gym. Like literally you can't wear your outside shoes in the gym sometimes. Like it depends on the gym if it's suggested or recommended. Those are the same thing. Suggested / recommended or required. But I was like, oh, that's so random. And then even like the yoga mats, they take off their shoes. And I was thinking about it. I was like, this is so smart. I actually like really love that. It just like feels cleaner. And of course, like I have a no shoe household. And so like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, you know, some people haven't even gotten to the step of taking off their shoes inside. And so how would I expect them to take off their shoes in the gym? Yeah, that's just not like a expectation type of thing. So yeah, I guess that's been kind of fun to like learn about that. And so I'm trying to take all of that in. And then yeah, I guess I'm just like I'm feeling a lot better because I feel like maybe this is all meant to be, right? Like my dad saying that like we're living parallel lives, like he went to Korea at my age, like makes me feel a little bit better. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel a little bit better that other people feel alone too, because one thing about loneliness is like it feels better when we do it together. So we're doing a lot better. I'm feeling a lot more hopeful. And you know what, this is just yet another example. Yes, we're getting the goals accomplished, of doing hard things. I am actually capable of this, of doing hard things. And yes, I have some friends visiting next week. Yes, I did hang out with one of my very good friends, Young, yesterday. And did we have great conversation? Amazing conversation. One of the best conversations I've had in a long time. And so, like, literally hanging out with Young, hanging out with my cousin has also brought up this epiphany that, like, I want to be pickier with who I spend my time with. I know I've kind of started to do that in LA, but I don't think I've actually, like, done the shedding process. And, like, yeah, that doesn't mean, like, I'm not going to give my time to, like, my core 5 people. But, like, I guess it's, like, making me feel a little bit more encouraged that, yeah, I can have really good conversation and walk away just feeling like life has been affirmed, right? You know those life affirming conversations where you're like, oh, this is why we're friends. Like, oh, your perspective is, like, so wise. And so maybe I will share a little bit more about me and Young's conversation once I processed it, because I literally, like, dude, got home and could not sleep for, like, another 2 hours because I was, like, excited. Like, I'm reminded why I'm an extrovert. Because I just, like, I thrive. I thrive in good conversation. And so, yeah, that's been really good. And I also had a great night's sleep. And so I'm feeling great. I'm feeling much better. Maybe I was just tired last week. Dude, you know when, like, you're, like, tired and you're, like, everything's going wrong, and then you realize, oh, maybe I was just tired, or, like, everything is going wrong, you're having a shit day, and then you start your period and you're like, oh, that's so invalidating. That's a little bit how I feel. Like, maybe I was just jet lagged. So also, take care of your bodies. I think, like, being here has made me realize, dude, I thrive in a walkable city. I mean, like, Noda, right? Noda. I thrive in a walkable city. You know why? Booty got bigger. No, but that's not only why. Because heart also got bigger. Like, literally, like, cardio, like, heart health, like, it got bigger. And so, yeah, we're back a little bit. We're not 100%, trust me. But slowly but surely, we're getting back. Also, I'm just gonna stop being so shy about, like, my bad Korean. I'm just gonna, like, talk. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk. Okay, well, yeah, I guess, like, all of this to say that maybe being alone sometimes is good. Maybe a little bit of loneliness is good because my perspective has, like, completely changed. Like, oh my gosh, do I value the people I have around me? Like, oh my gosh, do I value, like, seeing people interact with each other even though they're not interacting with me? Because it's so cute, right? And of course, like, extended loneliness is not a good thing. Like, there have been so many studies on how loneliness is, like, one of the biggest killers. And so I don't encourage loneliness, but if you are feeling alone, please know that, like, it is a passing feeling. It is just a feeling. It does not define who you are, because I am not loneliness. I am feeling loneliness. I am feeling lonely. That's better grammar. And so, yeah, take your time, everyone. Yeah, just take each day by day, and try to take it as an opportunity, I guess, to reflect. And if you are feeling deeply lonely, I strongly encourage you, look through the comments on the last video. So helpful. I was literally like, the internet is so wise. My cookies are so wise. And yeah, other than that, I love you guys so much. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye.